interest rates are going to drop. The chair at the Fed that controls the interest rates, Trump has been hammering and badgering him over and over again. Step down, step down, step down. Because Trump was saying on his social media platform, Truth Social, that, hey, we need the rates to go down, we need the rates to go down, we need the rates to go down. Some people went as far as saying that Trump purposely caused stocks to crash because of the tariff threats, just so that people will invest in bonds instead and interest rates can go down. I don't really believe that, but ultimately, it's very likely that rates are going to go down in the next coming months, sharply. And based on what we're seeing, how can you take advantage of this and how can you benefit? So if you want to buy a business, you want to own a business, you want to raise money to acquire some real estate, the cleanest and simplest way to do it could be just to focus on looking at businesses to buy right now before the rates go down. Because the issue is that when rates go down, then people depend not on skill, they depend on the market, they depend on interest rates. You have a deal that doesn't produce enough cash flow, profits, and the debt service coverage ratio is not good enough for the deal to remain profitable for yourself, your investors, your lenders, your employees, your suppliers, and your customers. And what ends up happening is that the business would have to shut down because you depended on a low interest rates, even though you should depend on high margin in a bad environment. It's better to do well in a bad environment than to do good in a terrible, to do good in a favorable environment. Rather, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So ultimately, now that rates are going down, don't depend on interest rates to keep your deal, above water. Make sure you depend mostly on good fundamentals, high profits, good teams, good systems, good skills, good areas. And if you do, then you can make sure that you win despite the interest rates going down. But if you just buy a terrible business because the interest rates are at an all-time bottom, then it only goes downhill from there, because you buy things at the best. You have no room to use skill, talent, business acumen, profits to take the lead. Sure, maybe you can do a few flips here and there, but for something sustainable, you can't depend on the market alone. You have to depend on something more fundamental and long-lasting. But with this, if you want to get this done for yourself, head to raise.com to learn more.